Communication, trust. Doctor told me. We always enjoyed our vacations. I mean, me and the boys always enjoyed going and doing things together. Like we used to go fly model airplanes together. Always enjoyed going to the lake and water skiing and fishing and things like that. Motorcycling. The boys always liked motorcycling. I kind of went along, but I wasn't there really that good at it. My parents enjoyed camping. My dad had a camper, and we'd go out to the desert, usually out around Palm Springs, and they liked to go rock hunting, finding gems and things like that, you know. Yeah, my dad built dune buggies, and he'd go down there, and he didn't race them, but always went down to the Baja races and watched them. And well, in college, I started majoring in engineering. You know, the first couple of years you're just taking the general courses anyway. So, but I started in engineering, and then I switched to geology, and then I thought, you know, geologists they travel all over the world. I'm not sure I want that kind of a life, going over to Saudi Arabia looking for oil, you know, out in the desert. So I switched back to engineering, and I was in ROTC also, and on my third year they ask you to sign on the dotted line, know whether you're going to want to be a commissioned officer or not. But I decided I didn't like that kind of life either, living in barracks on some air base someplace, so I didn't sign. I think I was going with Martha at the time, and I wanted to be with her. I didn't like that chain of command they had, you know, where every Thursday you had to wear your uniform and had to salute the other cadets as you passed them, and if you, I remember one time I failed to salute this guy, and I didn't have much respect for him anyway, and he was nailing me for not saluting him, you know, and I thought I could hardly stand it. So anyway, I guess I didn't like to be bossed, so that's one of the reasons why I opted out. Well, I started out as an engineer working for, well, I actually started out as a technician working for Beckman Instruments. Then I got hired by North American, and I worked there as a technician. And then they graduated me up to what they call a junior engineer, because I had enough points to have a degree, even though I didn't actually have one. I had enough years in college and experience that they gave me the points that I needed to be, you know, the same as if you graduated from college. So they made me a junior engineer, and from that I went to what they call advanced technical payroll, and then from there they graduated me up to just full-fledged engineer. And so I worked as an electronic engineer. It transferred me from North American to Autonetics, which is in Anaheim, which is now Boeing, and really enjoyed that. But in the early 1970s, after the Apollo project was all finished, in which I worked on the Apollo project and on the lunar lander, and actually the test equipment for the lunar lander. And but the industry was starting to go down, so I was repairing cars on the side. I always liked working on cars, doing custom work. So I had enough business just repairing people's fenders that, you know, they, hey, Wendell, can you fix my car? You know, I've got a bent fender, so I would do that and make a little extra money. I started painting cars complete. In fact, Martha and the kids would sand down cars and get them all ready for painting, and mask them off with newspapers and everything. And I'd come home somebody at noon and spray the cars and rush back to work. And we had enough business. I thought, you know, I think we can make this on our own so I quit Autonetics. We built the first building here at the shop, and I started working my profession, and I thought it was great fun. I'd wake up every morning and think, oh boy, I got my own shop, and I'd run over there and start working, and I just thought it was great. And the shop just kept growing, hiring more people until it's what it is today. It would have been something in electronics. Being honest and trustworthy. So one thing that my mom taught me is be sure you go out with nice girls, because that's the kind of girl you're going to marry. Or, you know, she said, be a good person, because that's the kind of person you're going to marry. So if you're not, in other words, if you're not honest yourself and you are playing around, you don't want to marry that kind of a girl. So my father was kind of quiet, kind of kept to himself, sort of a man. He wasn't very expressive. He was pretty smart. He worked at Douglas Aircraft as a design engineer. He designed equipment to make tools. He made tools for different things they need to manufacture the plane. My mother was pretty smart. She was like, in a lot of ways, like Martha. She was a straight-A student. She always insisted that we use proper English. You know, you didn't lie down, or you laid down. You know, chickens lay eggs. And so anyway, and she always taught the right principles. She always wanted. She was proud of her kids. And she was a supervisor at the telephone company, which, you know, shows that she had something on the ball, because you don't make supervisor unless you have something there. So and then my brother was kind of well, he's 5.5 years younger than me, so we didn't have a whole lot in common as far as, you know, what we did at the time. But Randall was very kind of easy to get along with guy. He was kind of artistic. He was a pinstriper too, just like Terry. In fact, probably Terry and him had a lot of things in common, but only had the one brother, so. That's about it as far as personality. My dad was Ralph Edwin Solesbee. My mom was Mildred Lucille Renfro Solesbee. And my brother was Randall Edwin Solesbee. When I was growing up, when we attended church, we attended the Calvary Baptist Church in Placentia. And attended there until I was 17. That's when the missionaries were talking to my dad at work, and also a missionary, a woman, I'm not sure she was a missionary or not, but she was talking to my mom at the telephone company about the Mormon Church. Yeah, it was her friend. Her name was Helen Starr. And the man that was talking to my dad, his name was, I think it was Ed Priest. And I think he's the one that actually ended up baptizing. I think he baptized all of us. We were baptized in the Long Beach stake over in Long Beach. What was the question again?
Yeah, just where did you guys attend church after that?
Oh,
You were 17, right?
you know, then we started attending church at the Mormon Church. We attended there was a building over on Malvern in Fullerton that we attended, and attended there until I went to BYU. I was baptized when I was 17.